Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's get stuck into some charts then, shall we? A bit of an overview this morning, and if you want a bit more detailed stuff, or even want me to have a look at something that you think is interesting, join the Patreon live stream. We're doing one tonight, links in the description below. Right, let's get started. So I am going to start with looking at the 1 hourlies. I know that that's something I would not normally do, but as far as the trends are concerned on Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're reasonably okay. They're not really showing any signs of massive weakness. They're not showing signs of an enormous strength. So they're kind of sort of like umming and ahhing around this little area, which for Bitcoin is still that 200 simple moving average on the daily. Now we're very close and could probably even confirm this tonight. Pump signal on the daily with the Ichimoku cloud. So this is good now. So we've been waiting for this for a little while now. So we've got the cheeky span outside of the price action. We've got the cross here below the cloud, which is fine. Price action above the cloud, and the leading portion of the cloud is green. So we close, you're going to have to close. This is where we are now. You close this candle body today, but anywhere from this price action here or higher. The lowest we could go would be, as long as we close above 59,500, the pump signal will kick in tonight. And that's what it is. We will get a confirmed pump signal tonight. And, the best course of action, and these pump signals, because it's a daily, it doesn't mean that, it's 1 minute past midnight, the pump signal's confirmed. Whoa! That's not how it works. It just means that there is a pump in play from wherever. Yeah, it doesn't mean it has to happen immediately, but it's a bullish situation, it's a bullish signal. And the pump would take you up to the next area of resistance. Now, if we were to get the pump signal now and we maintain this area or higher, the next major level of resistance for me would be the top of the trend line. So we're talking about $68,000 for Bitcoin. That's where you'd likely get rejected from. If you break on further than that, then that's brilliant. But if that's where the rejection comes in at, shouldn't at all be surprised, because we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... major rejections, and it's still a consolidation scenario here. There's nothing more to say about it. It's still consolidating, but still looks good. So I have to say, it still looks good. And the fact that we've been nudging this little area on the daily 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 times today, it makes me feel a bit more optimistic that we're going to break it. Remember, the more times you push a resistance, the more likely it is to break. Same with the support. More times you touch a support, the more likely it is to break. But we are going to boil this down on a 1 hourly to see what that looks like. Now, on this later stage of the run, since we retested this horizontal support, we've had some bearish divergence on the 1 hourly. So for the 1 hourly, you'd be looking for maybe a pullback down to 61,005, well, 61,750, 62,000, and then get picked up from there. That's what the 1 hourly would say. And the 4 hourly obviously has its golden crosses down here. So we've got the 50 exponential, which is 62,000. We've got the 200 exponential, 60,000, and then 200 simple, it's 59,500. So all of this area is fair for a pullback and a bounce and continuation, which gives you a max pullback of around 6% to maintain its bullish perspective for the Itchy Cloud, the Golden Cross, and general continuation from there. So if that happens, obviously everything will come down 6% or more. But that's what it would look like to me. But it doesn't have to come down at all. We could still keep rallying. We could still keep going. We could just move straight up. There's nothing really to stop it, because, like I said, the momentum is kind of not particularly strong, nor is it particularly weak. We are moving up, which is nice, but as far as momentum is concerned, it's neither here nor there. One thing we could look at would be the money flow index, which peaked around here roughly on the last attempt to move up towards the top of the trend line, and we had a bearish divergence read over here and moved down. So we've moved up to the top of the trend line here. So if we did move up and got a lower low on the money flow index, might cause the same kind of situation. But again, as of this very moment in time, it's neither strong nor is it weak. It's currently in a trend for price action, and momentum is slowing, but it's not scary slow. So that would be that. More or less the same thing for Ethereum, to be honest with you. You've got lots of bearish divergence on the later stage of this rally, the most recent stage of the rally. We've got golden crosses confirmed on exponentials, giving you a support of 2,512, 2,476 on simple moving averages, which are confirming right now. And if you were to measure those down for a pullback into them, that is a 5 and a 6, so it's almost identical to Bitcoin's retracement areas. As far as the daily is concerned for Ethereum, we're far, far, far away from going as bullish with setups and signals, should I say, as we are for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's the dominant chart with the better setup. Ethereum could easily be turning its way up from the lows and getting ready to make a much larger, more significant rally over time. And that, the Bitcoin dominance chart helps to complement that as well. But as far as the data is concerned, it's not like Bitcoin. So there is only one crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin. So that is that. So looking at the Dixie again, neither strong nor weak, holding on to this area. Supports more or less where we are right now, 100.8. The daily obviously is going to look pretty tired, being below all moving averages more or less, still holding on to the horizontal here, which is basically that weekly 200 exponential moving average, which is still below us. We tested it. We've had a bit of a bounce from it. We're getting a rejection from the 7 simple. Again, neither strong nor weak. Market's very undecided, to be honest with you, in the short term of exactly which way it wants to go. A breakdown from here would be significant. Might even lead to a much earlier top in the market. I still favour a bit of a bounce, to be honest, to like at this point now about 103.5 over the next couple of months or so. But if we do break down and bounce from a lower zone, as long as we don't hit the bottom of the trend line so far, because I'm not really convinced that this is where the dollar breaks down from this 12-year trend. I'm not convinced that that's where it's going to do it, but you're looking so far ahead. It's things get a little misty when you look that far ahead. We do have a general vibe of what the dollar is and is going to do over time, but just like any formation, a formation like this is the opposite of Bitcoin's, this is an uptrend which has more chance of breaking down over time than breaking out. But again, because we're looking at this on a period of weeks and we're thinking about where it's going to go over the next couple of months, I suppose. If we do continue down, then great, we'll see rallies across the board for assets, but the chances of a breakdown from here at this point, I'd be kind of surprised. But it doesn't mean it can't happen. It can certainly happen. I'm just putting it to you that we're at a major support or just above a major support on the Dixie, which makes it more likely that we're going to bounce on the Dixie. That's not the end of the world, is it? US 500 futures pre-market. We've still got that bearish divergence read, and we are moving to continuous all-time highs still over and over and over again. Moneyflow index rallying. RSI diverging, bearish divergence. So again, neither strong nor weak. It's one of those. It's one of those silly reads again. Like Bitcoin, like everybody else, the trend is up. We've got the breakout of the formation, but the momentum's already relatively high and cooling off. And so, does it have the power to rally again today? Does it keep rallying, or is it going to sort of pull back? And if it does, 5,656. And then 6,561. So, again, it's one of those days where it's not as clear as it has been in over, I suppose the last couple of weeks, really, where things did suggest, or at least from last week anyway, where we kind of assumed that markets were going to sort of bounce up anyway. And altcoins were going to benefit mostly. I think today, of all days, we're probably better to be on the fence, I reckon, today. It's better to be on the fence. Dominance chart, then. We'll leave it on the dominance chart. So the dominance chart has pulled back significantly, and it's now closed below a 200 exponential golden cross, basically, 4 hourly. So that's actually, while being below it like this, you do run the risk of getting rejected from it, which continues that potential alt season, which triggers so many. I always get the comments when I say the alt season. Let's say it lightly, and sometimes I just say it just for the negative comments, really. What are you talking about, alt season? Just because everything's outperformed Bitcoin like you said it would do, doesn't mean it's an alt season, I know. If there's a better terminology, then just relax, okay? Just relax. So the rejection's still pretty clear here of 58.5% dominance. And again, sitting at a variety of supports. Again, this is a bullish trend. So, there is only one crypto asset, and it's Bitcoin. We're looking at the 50 exponential a little bit below us. When you lose that, then you do come down significantly. The main thing I've been looking at and focusing on is the weekly, and this would be the better setup, really. So it's still obviously mega bullish, as you can see, with lots of bearish divergence leading into that horizontal area. So we can look at this and be relatively optimistic in our altcoin portfolios, I would say. throughout the rest of the year. And it doesn't mean that altcoins aren't going to pull back massively. If Bitcoin does that 5% pullback, which is just going to be a bullish retest as far as I can see, until that area breaks, it's bullish really. And then altcoins will pull back 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% or more, and then get picked up and bounce, and probably bounce more significantly if this chart continues to reject from this area, like I think it's going to do. But it can get picked up at any area, and I actually think that, you know, there's a good chance we get picked up today based on that daily, with the supports on the 50 and the 50 just below us, and the 4 hourly with the Golden Cross retest, which is currently, you know, above us. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like I say, you know, some days it is an on the fence kind of vibe, and I think today is an on the fence kind of vibe. Right, nothing much more to say about it. We're gonna have to wait for the data to unfold, and we'll see if we get the pullback. And if it is, just like I said yesterday, if we get those pullbacks, I believe it to be a buy the dip scenario, provided we haven't invalidated those supports on Bitcoin, really. But at the moment, we're above those supports, and we're looking for a retest of them, which still suggests a buy the dip to sell the rip on altcoins. Because that's how the charts, when you boil it all down into your cauldron of thoughts, stir it around, and then, you know, pull out what it is that you've been stewing. It's an optimistic spell, is what comes out of that cauldron. It's optimistic, you know. It's more likely to come down and bounce higher than it is to break down, I would say. But this very moment in time, as of right now, I wouldn't say that there's a long, and I probably wouldn't even say that there is a short. I'd say that there is a setup, and that setup needs to be met in order for us to take the plunge and pull the trigger on it. So that's what I'll be doing today. Basically, sitting and waiting for hopefully that setup to present itself to me at the right time. So as I'm not doing a school run or anything like that, then it should be all right. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Maybe I'll see you on the Patreon live stream tonight. We can digest as many altcoin charts as we have time for. Alternatively, just have a nice day. Take it easy.